Hey everybody, welcome to Dinner with Dad, Vacation Edition. Woo! So yes, we are on vacation this week and we're on location in Pensacola Beach, Florida. Woo! But we wanted us to have a dinner with Dad so you can kind of get an idea of what we're doing this week and also how you can make some easy, healthy things while vacationing. So we're going to get started. Ben's going to help me, and of course Joy's going to do some help too. But I can't, and they're going to go ahead and get started and I'll explain what they're doing. But I can't not talk about my shirt. Hello, first time wearing the new Dinner with Dad merch. It's not really merch because you really can't buy it. There's only 2 of these in the world and I have them. They were iron-ons made by my aunt. So you'll see me wearing them, but unfortunately they're not available for sale. For sale.
Yeah.
Yes. My accent going in there. So what we're doing today, we're making 2 very, very easy things. And if you're on vacation and you want to, whoa, Nelly. Whoa, Nelly. Be careful there. If you're on vacation and you want to have some really fun, tasty food, but maybe you want to try to be kind of low carb, now I have to admit, we haven't done a great job this week. But
it's vacation.
But it's vacation.
It is vacation, but we have eaten every meal in.
We're eating all of our meals in. They're making fun of me. All our meals in. 1, it's economical, and 2, because of COVID, we don't want to be out in the restaurant. So, but this meal is really, really easy, and it's tasty. So Ben is making low-carb tortilla pizza. And so he's using, and you've seen me use them before, the low-carb tortillas. We have the Mission brand this time.
They were on sale.
They were on sale. Actually, I prefer them. They're fewer carbs than the Kroger brand. But we usually buy the Kroger brand because the Kroger brand is usually cheaper, but these were cheaper this time. So you take a low-carb tortilla, and you put it on a pan with a rack. It really helps to make it crispier if it has a rack. We're actually going to make this one in the toaster oven here. We don't have a toaster oven at home because our chips that you're going to learn about in a minute is a different temperature. So you can buy some pizza sauce. Pizza sauce is fairly low carb. And then you can put your favorite toppings on it. We've got cheese, mozzarella cheese, we've got pepperoni. Ben loves banana peppers. And then we're going to throw in a little Italian seasoning. So I'm going to leave Ben to this. I don't know if you can see. I'm going to leave him working on this. It doesn't take long at all, and it's really tasty. Joy is making, you have to have chips when you're on vacation, right? Oh, chips. But a little take this time is we're making zucchini chips. Zucchini chips. I know you're like, ugh. And honestly, we've never had it before, but we're going to give them a try. She's doing an amazing job of cutting this zucchini super, super thin.
I just washed it and then I cut the ends off. So I left the skin on, or the peel, the skin.
Whatever.
Yeah, I didn't peel it, so I'm leaving it on.
We're leaving that on. I think that's good. Yeah, I don't think you're supposed to peel it. So she's going to keep cutting those up, but we're going to put in. We have these lime trays. They're kind of small here, so we haven't used a lot of them. And we're gonna put olive oil and salt, pepper, garlic powder, and we're gonna bake them up real crisp to eat with our tortilla pizzas.
You know, I was just going to say, we have to use different trays and stuff because, of course, we're not in our kitchen. But tell us about our location.
So listen, guys, this is cray-cray, as the kids say, cray-cray. We're staying here.
Do they say that though?
I don't know. Is that like 5 years ago or something?
Yeah, maybe
Okay.
even 10.
Okay, so the boomers, we say cray-cray. I'm not a boomer, but anyway.
You're not a boomer. You're not that old.
I'm not that old. But anyway, we're staying at this really super, super nice place in Pensacola Beach, and it's owned by a friend, and we're just so grateful to be able to get some time away. But you'll never guess. This is kind of just our secret here in Dinner with Dads. The neighbors. This is like a complex of condos. So they're all connected. All the condos are connected, right? The neighbors directly across from us is somebody famous.
Right next to us.
Right next to us.
We share a deck here.
We share a deck. And she's super nice, but she's really famous. Now, you may not recognize her name right away, but her name, I can say her name, right?
Yeah, I think so. She's
Okay.
famous.
She's famous. You can
She's used
Google
to
her.
people saying her name.
Her name is Sandy Birdsong. Now, I didn't know the name, but once I Googled her, she is like a famous chef. No
Isn't that
kidding.
wild?
She won the show several years ago, Top Chef, and as a result, she won an opportunity to work as a chef for Gordon Ramsay. But now she works in Los Angeles most of the time because she's a TV producer for food shows. Like she produces the show Nailed It on Netflix. Have you ever seen that food show? And she's worked on other food shows.
And I'm just saying, if she knew that we were right here, right now, doing dinner with Dad, I mean, I think she would just jump at the opportunity to
She's
be involved.
super
Don't
nice.
you think?
And I know,
know.
and we contemplated asking her if she wanted to be a guest. We didn't ask her because we can't bring up the courage to do it. I think we're at an impasse here. I'm sorry because Ben cannot open.
Oh, okay.
Let me just take
a little
care of
pause.
this. Yes, we're just like a little pausa for those of you in Italian.
My hands are oily because of that.
Whatever. Do you need a fork for that, or are you just gonna use your fingers?
I think a fork is
Okay.
a good idea.
So anyway, Sandy Birdsong. I mean, she could probably practically hear us. Can you wanna? No, you. Well.
I
don't.
don't want to show where she lives.
Okay.
We want to
Okay.
respect her privacy.
Her privacy, yes. But literally, there's a sliding glass door right here, and I can like see into her condo. I'm not kidding. And we kind of jokingly contemplated asking her if she wanted to join us. And I think honestly that she would have done it, but we couldn't. We don't have the nerve for that. But she's super, super nice lady. She's offered to like show us how to shell. Like she's a big sheller. Like she goes on the beach and hunts for shells, and she's offered to show us how to do that. She's
She has a
nice.
really nice shell collection on the
Yes.
downstairs patio.
Yes, and she's offered anything that we need. So anyway, it's just really interesting.
Very interesting.
Very interesting. Look at you. Are you done?
Yeah, and I think the directions said to brush these with olive oil. I think I'm gonna put them in a bowl and I'm just gonna toss them in olive oil. Yeah, so I'm gonna do
That's a
that.
good idea. So Ben has put on. Tell them exactly what you did here because I think you put like multiple layers of stuff.
Yeah, so first I put on the pizza sauce, and then I put pepperonis, and then cheese, and then more pepperonis, and then more cheese, and then some banana peppers.
Wow. Awesome.
That's a loaded tortilla
It's
pizza.
a loaded tortilla pizza. Of course, you could add whatever toppings you want. Your anchovies, your pineapple, your onions, your mushrooms, whatever you like.
Now Dad, do pineapples belong on pizza?
Sure, I think you can put anything on pizza. I'm not opposed, right?
It's apparently a big controversy. I think it's okay to put pineapple on pizza,
Yeah, I
but
think
let
it's
us
good.
know in the comments what you think. Are
Yes.
you pro pineapple?
Pro pineapple or
against?
anti-pineapple? We're not using pineapple today, but I say if you want pineapple on your pizza, put it on your pizza. Who cares, right? What do you think?
I think yes.
Okay, so we're gonna put this in the toaster oven. You can put it in your oven at, what do we do, like 350? 400, 350, 400. And you just kind of have to keep a watch on it for about 10 to 15 minutes until the pizza all melts in it and the sauce kind of starts bubbling. And you know what, usually, I forgot to do this, but usually I'll take a little pan, like a spray, and I'll spray my tortilla on both sides. It helps it to crispen up. I forgot to do that.
It's okay. I forgot to put some Italian.
Oh, Italian seasoning, let's add it to the top.
Yeah.
A little bit of Italian seasoning really gives it a little kick. Not really kick, just
Italian
a little
flavor.
Italian flavor. Do you want to put it in or want me to do it?
Oh, you can do it.
I'll do it. I got the toaster oven heated. I have to say I'm not used to working with toaster ovens. I still haven't like perfected how to even make my toast in the mornings here. It seems to like take a long time, so I'm not sure that I'm even doing it right. But we're gonna give it a go. How are these zucchini chips coming?
Great. So I just, I did 2 whole zucchinis, and so I cut them up. I just drizzled some olive oil over the top. I'm just kind of trying to mix it in, oopsies, to get them fully coated. And then, my scraps. And then I'm supposed to add some salt, pepper, and garlic powder. So I'm gonna double this recipe since I used 2 zucchini, but it's supposed to be, for 1 zucchini, a 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder. So I'm gonna go ahead and do a whole teaspoon. Or maybe I'm just gonna do 2 halves. Or, oh my, hold on.
It's
Okay,
too
yeah.
small to fit.
Yeah, there we go.
You mean too big to fit?
I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
too big. Well, then if the whole, yeah, the whole's too small, yeah.
Okay, so half teaspoon of garlic per zucchini, garlic powder, okay? And then a half of teaspoon of pepper per zucchini. So I'll go ahead and do a whole teaspoon.
As you can tell, Mom is a lot more precise with spices than Dad is.
Yeah, if I were doing this, I would have just dumped a bunch of spices. But you know, that can create waste.
Well, it can create awfulness, you know.
Well,
Like
you
it's
just
too
sprinkle.
strong. It can be like gross. Okay, and then 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt. Ben, are you all right?
Somebody's
Are you choking?
choking back there.
Yeah, I'm okay.
Okay, great. And then 1/4 teaspoon, I'm sorry, 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt per zucchini. I'm doing 2 zucchini, so I'm gonna go ahead and do 1/2 teaspoon of salt.
Very precise.
Okay. Great. Now,
So what exactly are you doing, Dad?
I am hosting the show today. I put the pizza in the toaster oven, and now I'll help Joy here with it whenever she needs.
so I'm just mixing up these spices. Looks yummy. Smells like salt, pepper, and garlic powder.
Wow.
Yep.
This doesn't look like it's gonna be enough.
It doesn't? Now you're supposed to do both sides. Now, I suppose if you feel like it's not looking enough oily, we can put a little oil in and we can brush them because I try to get, you know, here, why don't you spread those out?
Okay.
How
I
about
love using the
We
brush.
need to
so-
we need to sprinkle the spices on both sides. So I think you know, they're pretty oily, I think, but we might just give we might just give them a little brush one more time. I just think, especially since we're in a place that is not our own, we don't want to fill the kitchen with smoke like we usually do when we cook with olive oil, right? Like when Tony makes bacon, which he does every week in the oven. It's usually when I'm teaching downstairs and then I come up and the whole house is filled with smoke. I love that one time when I was teaching and all the smoke alarms in the whole house went off.
I don't know what you're talking about.
And I was teaching over Zoom and my students were like, do you need to, is everything all right? Like, oh yeah, no problem.
So you're like
Everything's good.
overlapping.
Well, I don't really want to. It's just that we don't have that much, you know.
Yeah.
So,
First of all, I don't use olive oil to make bacon, but the bacon grease is just really creates a lot of smoke in our house.
yeah. But so does a lot, you know, olive oil can do the same. If
like when you make the
load it up.
spaghetti, if you make spaghetti squash, it does.
That's true.
So I'm just saying, let's use caution and not use too much oil because we don't want to burn down this beautiful condo that we're staying in, nor do we want to set off all the alarms and cause everyone to fear. Okay?
We don't want, Sandy Birdsong running over here and then realizing we burnt our meal and then she'd laugh at us. She probably wouldn't laugh at us, but she'd be like, amateurs.
And she would be right.
She would be right. Considering she's like a really fancy chef.
So I'm just kind of doing a little bit, extra. Not a lot though. I'm not going overboard. Just brushing. All right, and so
Are we gonna turn them over or you think that's enough?
we will turn them over, but first we're gonna put the spices on, right?
Yeah. So while she's doing that, you want me to tell you a story about our
Yes.
vacation? First of all, we've just been really looking forward to this because we haven't, as with most people, we've been cooped up in our homes for months, and then before that, when I was sick, I've been cooped up forever. So we've just really been looking forward to it. And we've had, so far, we're only like 4 days in, but we're having a great time. Today we're having kind of a rainy day, so we've kind of been in mostly, but we're hoping it clears up later and we can head out to the beach. But our second day at the beach. Can I tell the story about Ben?
Well, I think the story is actually more about you, but yes.
Well, he was the one out in the water. So we were here at the Gulf of Mexico, and we had set up our umbrellas and everything. And
You know, you just like you take all this stuff to the
we had this
beach.
big cart because we had to go across the street to the beach. Anyway, we set all up, we're ready. Callie and Joy decided they wanted to kind of just plop down in the sand where the water,
Yeah,
you
we
know,
were
we're
sitting in
in the sand.
our beach chairs
Yeah.
right by the edge.
On the beach and the edge, but I was back under the umbrella reading my book. Ben wanted to go out into the ocean a little bit.
Excuse me.
And typically, the water's here fairly calm, you know, and it's easy swimming. So anyway, he's out there, maybe out up to his waist, maybe a little further.
Yeah, I think
Because we don't go, we're not like beach swimmers, so we don't do anything crazy. But he was out there maybe up to his waist. All of a sudden, I look up from my book and I see this big fin about 20 feet from Ben.
it was black.
It was black, and my heart just was like, oh! And I started yelling. And there are not a lot of people on the beach here. And it was pretty early in the morning because we set up at 9:30.
But you know how when you're on the beach and it's kind of noisy because of the water and you can't really hear each other very well. So Callie says casually to me, Dad is shouting behind us. He's hollering. And I said, oh. And I look up and I look out at Ben and I also see that black fin. So I shouted immediately.
And by this time, I was, you know, while I was hollering, I was hauling myself out of the beach chair, which is about this far off the sand.
You know.
So that's a sight to behold, you know, in and of itself. But I'm running up, shouting at Ben, shouting at Joy, trying to get their attention. Joy sees it in the meantime.
Then I holler at Ben and he fortunately immediately reacts and I'm like,
Yeah, he wasn't like, what? He just immediately came
Starts
in, which
coming
is
in.
amazing.
yeah. And
As it turns out, a few seconds later, then we see the
the telltale sign of the dolphin that goes, you know how they do.
But at first, all we saw was the fin. So I mean, I think we were kind of justified in our fear.
In
here.
our shock and panic. Yeah, probably.
But it was just a dolphin.
Which is
Fortunately.
great. And then everybody around us, like, we're like recovering from a heart attack, and everybody's like, oh my gosh, look at the dolphin! Oh, this is great! Oh, I can't believe we got to see a dolphin today. We're like, oh my gosh. It's fine. It's fine.
So we're not really worried about sharks here. I mean, I looked it up, and they haven't had a shark attack here since 2001, and they track the sharks with drones and the water's clear, and they haven't even seen sharks here for over a year, close to the shore. So, I mean, we're not really worried about it, but still, when you see a fin sticking out of the water, it's scary.
And you know, we're not that much of like pros to be able to like identify fins, you know? We just,
A fin is a fin to me.
yeah.
I mean,
And-
Callie, she watches Shark Week like crazy. You know?
I love Shark Week.
It
So
should be
like,
coming up soon, shouldn't it?
it really should be. I've seen like all of the shows where they're like my story with the shark, and then they tell how their leg got bitten off and everything. So I'm just here at the ocean very cautiously.
And I have to say that did kind of scare. Ben came in, he's like, I'm never going back out there again. But he did, but it was a little frightening.
Yeah, you know. Yeah.
So you don't have enough spices.
I have plenty, I think. I mean, I spiced them up and then I turned them all over again. I'm not adding any more oil again just because I think
They're
I
pretty.
shouldn't. They're pretty oily. Just adding a few more spices on the other side. And then we're gonna pop them in the oven.
We have preheated the oven to 400. And how long do they cook?
30 minutes.
30 minutes?
Yeah, 30 minutes at 400.
Wow. We're gonna be famished by the time this is over.
I know, I'm so hungry. It's
Now,
lunchtime.
it could be a bust. I mean, I like zucchini. You really don't. But I mean,
I don't know.
I like zucchini. All kinds of zucchini, like raw, sauteed, all of that. So this should be pretty good. But we'll let you know. I think we're ready. I mean, I suppose if we try these and we're like, oh, next time we need more spices, we could do that. But I think even though they might have more spice on one side than the other, I still think they're good.
That's okay.
You know how when you buy a bag of barbecue chips or paprika chips
Oh,
in Europe,
Europe.
sometimes they're not always on both sides, you know. But
Right, I always put the more flavorful side on my tongue.
Okay. All right.
Oh.
So hopefully this will work.
Don't
You
you?
might take a look.
No.
This is probably ideally how it really should look, you know, like spaced out like
Yeah, let
that.
me get a close up.
That's probably ideally how it should look. However,
But
because
however, you might have
we
to do
used
this.
2 zucchini and we might have piled them on, you know.
We don't
a
have any
little
more
bit.
trays here.
We're just out of trays, but that's fine.
It's fine.
Because that's fine.
It's fine, we're on vacation. Who cares?
Okay, we're gonna pop them in the oven.
We'll check back in. I thought it would ding. But it looks as if Ben's tortilla pizza is done. So, should have had my pot holders ready. Look at these cute pot holders.
They're not pot holders.
I mean, you know.
Well, they are pot
They're
holders.
pot holders.
They are.
Yeah, what are you trying to confuse me?
Having trouble?
Well, when you only have a mitten on, it's a little hard. So maybe you can come over here and give this a little close up. See how it really does crisp up around the edges, and doesn't that look yummy?
It does.
And I promise you that. Sorry, not very prepared today. I promise you this, you won't miss normal pizza crust. This tortilla is really, really nice and crispy.
Especially if you love thin crust. But I also,
Yes.
I like thick crust too, and it also is good.
You know, another idea, you could also brush a little olive oil on that tortilla too. That would really, other than spraying it. So anyway, there you go. We still have about, I don't know, 20 minutes to go, 25 maybe, on our zucchini chips. But we wanted to show you this finished tortilla pizza, very low carb. Pizza sauce is very low carb. Cheese, peppers, pepperoni, really great low carb meal.
Bon
All right.
appetit.
Bon appetit. We'll be back with the chips.
Okay, it's 30 minutes later. We're gonna check on our zucchini chips. They smell great. Now, those seem to be a little overdone, don't you think? Okay, so
Hey.
yeah, these looks like they're pretty crispy. However, the ones on the top rack have done a little bit better. So maybe you don't have to slice them as thin. That would be better. Maybe as thinly as I slice them, because they might turn into, you know, a burned chip. But you know, some of my favorite potato chips are the ones that are really brown and kind of crunchy. So maybe
That's
that'll
crazy
be the
because
thing.
you just checked on them 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I did. That's fine.
Let's try one. Are they too hot?
I'm gonna turn this oven off.
You hit off.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, great. Yeah, be careful because you know you have sensitive fingers.
I do. I'm gonna try a crispy one. Oh my gosh, they're really good.
Yeah, I don't mind the dark ones.
No, I think the dark ones are better because I tried to pick this one up and it's a little wiggly.
But still good.
Yeah, it tastes really good.
Well, hooray!
But the dark ones, oh my gosh, these are like chips. This is the way to go.
They really are pretty good.
They really are.
Okay, well, enjoy.
So long from Pensacola Beach, Florida. We'll be back in our normal home kitchen next time.